If everybody can grab a seat, gather closer. All right, good morning and welcome everybody. My name is Steve Corkery. I'm the chair of the Community Service Board here at River Edge, and it's my privilege and honor to be handling the welcome this morning. Cass may not know what he's getting himself into, but we'll go for it anyway. So I want to thank, I guess first of all, I'm going to thank our landlords, the mayor, city council, all the commissioners for kicking us out. So with that there gentle nudge, and I'll just call it a nudge, that's a nice way to say it, right? With that there nudge, we wouldn't have gone looking and found this great property to house our new headquarters for River Edge, which is so exciting. So thank you for the nudge. And Mayor can wave his hand over here. There we go. Any other commissioners? I know Commissioner Clark is coming shortly. And I see a parade of cars still coming. All right. I heard this is the place to be this morning at 10 o'clock. All right. I'd also like all the foundation and community service board trustees and board members to stand and wave their hands. We've got several here present. Thank you. And let's see, we've got a bunch of construction, design, destruction, all those kind of people. So y'all wave and so we can thank you for being here. I'm good at making generalities. All right, anybody else I'm forgetting, welcome. All right, Cass and Joanne gave me a few days to prepare for this, but of course, the creative mind doesn't work like that. I do really well under pressure. So I was shaving this morning. And 55 years ago, there was a song, and I remember it well, The Age of Aquarius. And you astronomer people know that we're in Aquarius right now. It's the first, whatever you call it, anyway. But there's also one of the earliest constellations that was discovered. And Ptolemy, back in the day, was the one that did it. So again, Aquarius is old. When you think of Aquarius, what do you think of? Water. So I think water is a cleansing agent, something that's necessary for life. And I think River Edge fits that bill as well. The song was made famous by the Fifth Dimension. And if you think, well, some of you can think back this far. But for the others, you have to use your imagination. If you can imagine me with bell bottoms and striped pants. I did own a blue one and a white Nehru jacket. But unfortunately, I was kind of on the late end of the 60s. But like I said, I love the music. And there's a couple of lines in there that, out of that song, peace will guide the planets. Love will steer the stars. And again, I think of our IDD population and all our clients that come there and the love that we show to them and that they give back to us in twofold. And then another line that really fits this occasion is minds will be liberated. Now again, they may have been talking about some other ways to get the mind liberated, but we also deal with that. So anyway, that's where that came from. I don't know. Well, I do know where it came from, which gets me off the podium. Okay, I promise. All right, it is a little chilly out here, but if you think of our current building, for those of you who've been over to River Edge and visited, what is missing? Windows. Thank you. So, think of Aquarius, Aquarius, but then there's a musical bridge, and then the line that brings us to my close. Let the sunshine in. So, I mean, thank you, God. You gave us a wonderful, Reverend Little, I'm not stealing your lines, I promise. Okay. All right, so I'm thankful for the blue skies and the sunshine, and a group I purposely left out when I was welcoming everybody is the staff of River Edge and the clients of River Edge. This is all about you all. This is about letting the sunshine in. This is talk about letting the sunshine in at the office, but into your hearts and into your minds. So think Age of Aquarius, think peace, think love, and welcome to our ceremony. Thank you.
That was incredible.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Good morning, everyone. Let us pause for a word of prayer. Gracious Father, we're very grateful for a beautiful day that you've given to us, and we declare, as your word declares, that this is the day that you've made. We choose to rejoice and to be glad in it. We thank you for the wonderful vision of River Edge. Thank you for Mr. Hatcher. Thank you for the staff, the team that helps to facilitate rehabilitation for our citizens, for those who are returning and those who are being impacted by this wonderful vision, and how this headquarters space will be a blessing to so many individuals and families. We thank you for our mayor. We thank you for our city leaders. We thank you for our officials. We thank you for all that will partner together to see their lives are transformed from this space and beyond. We're grateful. We bless you and we praise you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
So I'm here to give the purpose as to why we're here today. But first of all, I'd like to thank our board, our River Edge board. We couldn't have done this without you. Your leadership and guidance in terms of helping us to basically have this vision is truly is remarkable. And also to our foundation. You know, you are the ones who basically trusted in us and had the vision as well to support this effort. But most importantly, help us raise money, and so we can make this possible happen. And thanks to the guest who's going to speak today. But first, I'd say this is a turning point for River Edge Behavioral Health. 74 years we provide mental health services, services for substance abuse disorders, and also, but most importantly, servicing people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. This is an exciting moment for River Edge, but it's also an exciting moment for Macon County. And so, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Seth, for being here. But we've landed on this spot here, basically with the help and support of Mr. Dwight Jones. And he's going to talk a little bit about the history of this, but basically we chose this location because it was accessible to clients who are seeking help, regardless of they have income or don't have income. Basically, we will provide that service to them based on their income needs and the income range. So what's going to happen here? So if I look over here to my left, can you imagine once this building is torn down, and I'd like to thank Mike Castile, and please pray for Mike. Mike is not here today. Mike is recovering from the flu. And so basically, I hope he did get it by going through these buildings, but we're going to tear these buildings down. On the left of me will be a 2-story admin facility. This first floor will consist of our human resources, our IT facilities, our training facilities, all the things that we do in terms of supporting our staff. At the top on the second floor will be our headquarters. Our executive team will be there, our financing and management team, what I like to call our back office staff, will be there at the second floor. Behind me will be a second building that will be connected to the first building by a breezeway. And on this second floor will be our true outpatient clinic. Admissions will come in, assessments will be done there. They can go to the exam rooms, they can see a doctor, they can receive medications. All those functions that you and I would go to a normal clinic to have provided will be provided in that space. And then a third building will be our partial building, and that will serve our maintenance department and our procurement department and also our warehouse. We take in a lot of supplies and equipment, and so that building will serve in that purpose as well. So what will this do for the community? How will this impact the community? So mental health affects 20% of the people that are impacted here. People who go to our healthcare facilities, our hospitals, and our justice system, basically, they are basically going there. We want them to come here to River Edge. Nearly 1 in 8 individuals arrive in the emergency room seeking mental health treatment. We want them to come here. And also, up to 60% of incarcerated individuals who are in jail have a mental health disorder. We are in the Bibb County jails. We are providing that service. We can tell you for a fact that the many people that we see in the jail have mental health disorders, and we're going to, once they're discharged, we want them to come here for services. This new complex will provide access, easy access from the interstate, off of Riverside Drive, and also basically we're going to try to work with the transit authority to have a bus station here so clients can be dropped off here at this parking lot instead of having them walking down the street here to River Edge. Wind is getting me here. So, at River Edge we say, if it's not you, it's someone you love. There are so many individuals not receiving the much needed mental health and substance abuse services in Macon-Bibb County. It is our hope that as the stigma surrounding mental health challenges start to decrease, that more people understand that mental health matters and that they seek Riverhead services, not the service that we're currently providing, but also the service that we're providing in this new location. So I want to thank everybody for coming again, and I'd like to pass it over to some historical perspective from Mr. Dwight Jones, who basically really sold us to this building, saw the vision for River Edge, and supported every effort in terms of providing this space to us. So Mr. Jones, if you would, please.
Cass, thank you for those kind words. Pastor Little, we just met and listened to your prayer. I'm Presbyterian. I see you're Baptist, but I think that was a Presbyterian prayer. It was pretty thorough.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, board members, trustees, staff, Mayor Pro Tem, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity to be here today. It's a special day for me and my family, a little emotional. And so if you'll bear with me a few minutes, as Cass mentioned, I'll give you just a brief history. Tommy, I saw you earlier. Where'd you go? Tommy remembers the Riverside Plaza Shopping Center, and maybe some of you do. Fred, where are you? I saw you earlier. Did you get away? Fred's in the back. Fred was our mayor out here for a long time. He had Green Bar Supply right here in the corner for 16 years, I think, Fred. And he called me often on issues here and there, and was a great tenant. But this center was built long before I was born by my father, Charles Jones. And some of you may not know, my father, unlike me, was not a native Maconite. He was born and raised in Upson County, and upon graduation and meeting my mother, he enlisted in the Naval Air Transport Command for the end of World War II. And as a result of his service, he qualified for the GI Bill. He went to the University of Georgia on the GI Bill and got a bachelor's degree in business. He was the first one in his family to obtain a college degree. And like a lot of young men, even today, he wasn't sure what he wanted to do. So he and my mother took a job in Atlanta working for then Governor Talmadge as an aide to Governor Talmadge. And I'm sure that's a story in itself. But as was common then, the governor didn't have the funds in his budget to pay my father. So my father officially was an employee of the Department of Transportation. Well, for the optics of that, even though he was the governor's aide, he had to go a day or two a month and stay at DOT just to keep it honest. Providentially, as a result of that, he became privy to a new project called the Interstate System of the United States. Well, he immediately saw the wisdom and vision of what he needed to do. And today we take it for granted. We get on our interstates and we go wherever we want to go, but in that day, I would liken it to more recent times, maybe e-commerce, and how that has changed how we shop. I'm sure everybody here wishes they had a few of those initial shares of Amazon and held on to them for a little while. So my father moved to Macon. He picked Macon, and he picked it because it was centrally located and because it had two interstate systems planned, I-16 and I-75. 475 actually came a little bit later. And just up the road here, just north of where we are, his first enterprise was a motor court motel called the Inn Ambassador. So he developed that. He moved his young family in there, and we all worked there. And the hotel was moderately successful. And few years later, never one to rest on his laurels, his next endeavor was to explore this new concept of a regional or neighborhood shopping center. It was rather new. He bought this property, if I remember, was a little more than 10 acres, had the vision for it, laid it out. It was anchored just here by A&P grocery store, which at the time was a novel concept here. And it was populated, Fred came later, but with a lot of great local tenants. And it was very, very successful, very well received, and it was my father's baby. I didn't know until much later, but he actually published a weekly newsletter that he mailed to the neighborhood here about what was going on. They had events, they had coupons. And being the son of an entrepreneur, you really don't have much choice. So one of my first business endeavors was right here on this sidewalk on Saturdays. I would sell greeting cards, peacock feathers, and Chinese chestnuts. So our family has a lot of history here, to say the least. And so for reasons unknown to me, as we developed our parent company, Okmulgee Fields, Inc. together, my father had this center, Riverside Plaza, in his personal portfolio. It was never part of the parent company. And I think it's because he had so much history here and he loved it so much. Well, obviously it's long in the tooth and was redeveloped a few times and made more of an office setting. And so when my father passed, being his executor, I couldn't develop this, and so we put it up for sale very softly. We had a few runs at it, near misses, as they say in the business. And as the signalized light occurred here just to the east of us, I assumed some entrepreneur would buy it and probably do a mixed use of retail and residential. Nothing too exciting, compared to what we see around our community. Well, a few years ago, I got introduced to Mr. Cass Hatcher. So Cass, at the time, he was tasked with putting this together, and he represented his employer well. He negotiated hard. But I don't think what he knew is as he painted the mission and the vision of what would occur here, he had me at hello. And I love to negotiate, but I think I quit negotiating and started collaborating. And so we, over time, put this together. And I think at the time, maybe he did, I sure didn't, that we didn't know in the near future that he would be filling some even bigger shoes. And I want to point out that I think you all agree with me that Cass has not only filled those shoes, he's also started cutting his own path, and we're so proud and thankful for all that you do, Cass. I know all of us here are friends of River's Edge. Some of us may not be familiar, so I want to talk about them just a quick second. They're the best kept secret in our community. And it's not just our community. They have a ridiculously large service area. Cass, I can't remember. I want to say it's over 30 some odd counties, and you're going to say it's 100, and I'm going to look like an idiot. How many is it?
It does be close.
Okay. It's a lot. It's a lot. And as someone in my nuclear family that has seen up close and personal the devastation of mental illness, is something very special on my heart. And when you look at mental illness through the millennia around our world, it was, Cass mentioned this earlier, was largely stigmatized. It was marginalized. It was put in the dark. It was something we didn't talk about unless it was in hushed tones. It was thought many years ago, maybe it wasn't even a clinical illness. It was just the conduct of the person. They wouldn't even use the word victim. But now other diseases such as cancer, we were compassionate about. But mental illness, it was, take an aspirin, walk it off, I'll see you in the morning. And by God's grace, well, let me mention this too, there are societies in Europe that actually euthanized mental illness. And it's shocking to me that our neighbors to the north in Canada, even today as we sit here, are offering euthanasia to mentally ill Canadians. It's unbelievable, it's unfathomable to me. And so, by God's grace, in just recent years, mental illness has come out of the dark, it's come into the light. It's begun to be accepted for what it is, and for the individuals that suffer with it, they are in fact victims. So treatment is better, it's getting more readily understood and more accepted, but unfortunately it's growing and it's becoming more of a crisis. We are so fortunate and so blessed that Cass and his team, not just in our community, but in our region, they are the tip of the spear. And I am overwhelmed emotionally that the next chapter of River Edge's life will be here on this property in a repurpose and a reuse that I know me nor my father could have ever imagined. So again, Cass, we appreciate what you're doing there, and we look forward to it. In closing, I'm at that point in my life where I have more years behind me than I do in front. And I never thought it would happen. And I see as I age, I become more reflective and more contemplative. And my father was an ambitious man. And I think like anybody, we all want a legacy. We all want to be remembered. But he's been gone not even quite 15 years. And as I contemplate that, his contemporaries for the most part are gone. And most of his memory, his dedication, sacrifice that he did, time, talent, and treasure to this community are largely unknown. Just recently, I was meeting with the Mayor Pro Tem, who's leading another very important endeavor to get national recognition for our indigenous mounds. And he had no idea, I'm not trying to make him feel bad, about my father's long history with the nation. That was another important endeavor to him. He was very involved with the nation. He put together what was known as the Trail of Cheers, not tears, but cheers. Look it up. It's an interesting story. And to my knowledge, I think he's the only person in the community that the nation made an honorary Creek Indian chief with a full regalia of the eagle feathers and so on and so forth. Well, my point is this. We're temporal. And no matter what our intentions are, and no matter what we do, in time we will not be remembered. And as I think on it, I think it's the time and talent and treasure that we dedicate to institutions, to the assets of the institutions, and to our fellow man is where our real legacy is. And so just here I'm seeing that borne out in an asset my father created that now is going to be repurposed for something that is so much more important. And Cass, if he were here, he would be emotional and he would be excited and he would wholeheartedly support this whole endeavor. I know he would. In closing, my father he's actually buried just down the road, a couple miles here in Riverside Cemetery, the north side, next mayor to the Board of Education's facility. And he bought those lots as a young man, and they're on the eastern edge of the cemetery facing towards the river. And for years and years, there was a buffer beyond the property line of mature trees. It was really a beautiful setting. Well, shortly after he was buried, my wife and I were visiting, and the work started on the 1675, what I call Spaghetti Junction. And we didn't know that that was the right-of-way beyond the fence line for that development. Well, needless to say, that view was just then overlooking probably what most people would say was an ugly construction site. And my wife, being my wife, she said, honey, maybe we need to look at moving your dad to a more idyllic setting. And she's my wife, so she's right when she says whatever, I realize that. But I said, indulge me. I said, let's prayerfully consider this for a while, it's no rush, and see what the Lord's leading is on it. And I spent some months going back and forth and contemplating, did I move my father or not? And one day it struck me that what most of us would look as an ugly setting was how my father made his livelihood. The concrete of that interstate system is as much a part of his DNA as anything else. It's how he did his work in this community, and it even today is the lifeblood of our community. And so I think it's appropriate that he now, in death, sits on a high point overlooking probably the most massive interstate construction project we'll have in our county in the foreseeable future, and I think he's well pleased where he sits. And Cass, I do hate he's not here with us today. And for those of you who didn't know him, he was a great orator, and I apologize that I'm not quite to his standard. But if he was here, Cass, he would have insisted on taking the podium for a minute. And in his classic fashion, he would have come up here and put his arms behind his back. And he wouldn't have spoken right away. He would have sized up the crowd, and he would have waited to gain your attention and your rapture. And I think he would have made one sentence, because he he was often right, and he loved being right. But I think he would have said, I've always told y'all, real estate's about location, location, location. So this is a great location. Cass, we're thankful, we're prayerful. We wish you and your staff great success in all your endeavors here, and we stand ready to support you in any way we can. Thank you, sir.
Cass, thank you for, sorry, can you hear me? I'm gonna have to bend down a little bit. Thank you for asking me to speak today. This is a very special day, but it's not only special because of the buildings that are coming down and coming up. If you work for or on the board or a client of River Edge, will you stand up? And if you're already standing up, will you just put your hand up? Like Cass said, this is a really great day in the start of a project, but what's special about this is what's going to go on inside these walls, on the other side of those windows. And the reason that this place, in my opinion, this town, is so good and so kind and a beacon of light to the state of Georgia is not anything that simply happens alone in a governmental building anywhere. It's the people in the community serving each other and holding hands and making sure that that when they see their neighbors hurt, they do something to make them hurt less. And I don't know, Cass, of an organization who wakes up every day and does that to the scale that River Edge has done in this community for as long as they've done it. So that's why this day is special. This building coming down is an act of prayer. This is how we take care of each other. My mama's a preacher, and she always told me, when you pray, move your feet. And today there's a lot of feet moving. Over the next couple of months, you're going to hear about crime rates going down, and they are going down. You're going to hear about economic development, and that is happening in town. But the reason it's happening, the reason that our streets are a little bit safer, is because organizations like River Edge are taking care of volatile people who have nothing else in their mind for them. And you give them something, Cass. And everybody who raised their hand, that's what you do. Your work doesn't just change the individual life of that client sitting in a chair. It changes your community. Makes your community safer. Makes your neighbors safer. It makes the family members of those clients be more at peace. And that is how you change the world, because that's what the world is. It's the perception of what you see right in front of you, right? My world's very different than yours, Paul. So when you affect that one client and they go out and affect their community, you have fully changed the world. And that's what's going to happen at this location. And it's just a very, very, very special day. So I hope you're all very proud. I am incredibly proud to be here and be in the background and support what's happening in River Edge and in this community. But I am more excited today than I was yesterday to be a citizen of this town that is a beacon of light, because it is our mission on all sides of town to take care of each other. That's what makes Macon Bibb great. So thank you. Thank you to everybody who raised their hand. Good luck. It is not an easy task that you've been given once this building's up, but we're here for you. Your community's here for you. So thank you, and thank you for everything, to everyone that did everything to get this project off the ground, because I know that this has been years in the making. Congratulations, and thank you for your service to everyone, because it is truly an act of prayer and an act of love. God bless.
Well, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Woo. Shouldn't have touched that. You guys hear me in the back? Okay. If you can't, let me know. All right. It is a great day to be in Macon-Bibb County. I want to get that out of the way first. But also, I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing here today, right? Am I the mean landlord who's kicking someone to the curb? I'll tell you that I learned a lot about history today. Certainly, I know Dwight Jones very well, and his family has meant a lot to Macon-Bibb County, and Dwight has made his own way. And I like to know that he does collaborate, not just negotiate. But I got a feeling while that collaboration was happening, he was still negotiating. And Steve, I appreciate the update on Aquarius. That's a lot of information I'll probably never realize again. I happen to be one of those. And about 55 years ago, I was about 2 weeks old, so you remembered a little bit better than I do. But, and also, Pastor Little, I appreciate the job that you're doing here and the great work that you're doing here. And after we get through here, I want to find out what size boots you wear, because I'm at the, there you go. But it is a great day, and we can have some humor today because that's what it's about. It's about bringing our community together, and it's about moving forward together. And I can think of no better way to move forward together is to help those that need it the most. And that's what I like about River Edge. That's what I like about the people that are surrounding me here today, is we're in it for the right reasons. And as much as I like being part of demolitions and tearing things down to make way of the new in our community, I've always said it's about building up. If we tear something down and we don't build anything up, then we have gained nothing. And today we're going to gain a lot. I also used to come and eat right here at Natalia's when I could save up enough money to go there back a long time ago. And I've been to several events at this place here, and it's time for a change. It really is, as you get off the interstate there, to see a horse shape here empty, without life and without great things going on. I can think of no better place to have River Edge than right here. Certainly it helps my vision as mayor to give him a little nudge. I like that language there. I may try to use that a little bit out of the Emory location, but I think it's good. Matter of fact, when I was, before I left my office, I was looking at this thing called Facebook, and there was an article about this very demolition we're doing today, and I know there had to be an employee on there posting, hopefully it was not on the clock, and they were saying how much they're looking forward to being in a new building. And something about a new building that brings new life and it revitalizes. It's like we're in church and we're having revival. We know the mission, right? But sometimes we need somebody to light a fire so we can really get out there and be on fire for the people. And this is that day. So the only thing standing between you and that sledgehammer is me speaking. So I'm going to cut it off very quickly here. But I do want you to know that Macon-Bibb County will continue to stand with the folks in our community who need it the most. And that's why we've been great supporters of River Edge and all mental health. And that's why myself and many members of our team continue to advocate over and over again at the state capitol about how much we need funding here in Middle Georgia. And we will continue to do that. And as I've reminded people plenty of times before, and I'll say it again, is we have a big surplus in Atlanta, Georgia. And we need some of that money to come back into our community for mental health treatment and for taking care of our less fortunate. So it is indeed a great day to be in Macon-Bibb County. On behalf of myself, the 9 commissioners that I had the pleasure of working with each day, and the 160,000 people that I serve here in Macon-Bibb County, we wish you Godspeed. We want you to know that you're a partner of ours, and at this time I believe we'll crank up the sledgehammer.
Now it's a fun time. So we can have everybody who was on the program to come up and take the first swing. I will warn you that these are 12-pound sledgehammers, so bring your big muscles. And so if I can have the pastor come up, the mayor, Steve, also Dwight, and we'll come up here, take a swing, and see exactly who can handle the sledgehammers. Okay? So, Jared, everybody ready? On the count of three.
Had him safe for last. You got to wager who drops the hammer first.
On the count of three. Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. So, anyone else who want to take a swing, come on up. Board members, anyone?
Do I need them if I have these?
Yeah, we got enough. Fine, fine. Okay, I'm going.
Hey, I need you to fill out that application.
Good job. Pastor, thanks again. Always great. You know what? I'm thinking about having a. I'm talking about having a graduation.
Let me know. And I want to talk to you.
Are you ready? Okay. Ready? River Edge staff and the staff members. Anybody else want to come?
You can tell it's not something I do.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Hey, how you doing? Fine. I'm doing fine.
I got that other one done.
Yeah, how you doing? How you doing?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's gonna be nice.
It is.
First of all, we'd like to again thank everyone for coming. There's refreshments and coffee and donuts. Please help yourself. Thank you.
I couldn't get that all right.
Give me just a second. Okay, yeah. Y'all know each other? Let him think. I gave my no. Yeah. I think okay. Go to the boss. Okay. They are going to not. They are going to start. I think correct.
we can still see it in the back. Yeah, this is fine. It's amazing the strength that those machines have. I mean, they can tear anything down. You think he's ever smoked weed? The guy right behind the white robe. Does he know? Is he? Oh.
Oh yes, you have to switch it. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you don't,
Then the natural sound.
oh my God.
Yeah.
If you,
That's my worry too. Audio's always like, oh. Like,
I always tell new reporters, I say, if you look in the viewfinder and it's blurry, it's blurry. If it's blue, it's blue. Don't come back to the station. Oh, I didn't know. Yes, you did. All right, we're ready now.
Whoa, okay. Right in the sun.
Well,
I like to mic you up if it's okay. If you could like stick it up your jacket and pin it right there.
Can you hold this for me?
Rather on that side.
yeah, perfect.
Okay, can you hear me?
What?
Actually, could she hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
We have a lot for you today.
Okay.
Very important person.
Oh well. Okay. Okay.
Can you back up just a little bit?
Okay.
What's your name?
My name is Cass, C-A-S-S, Hatcher, H-A-T-C-H-E-R.
Your title is?
CEO of River Edge Behavioral Health.
Right, so we're breaking.
Can you do that again, please?
What?
Can you do that again? I didn't have my mic
Oh,
on.
can you say your name again?
My name is Cass Hatcher, Cass, C-A-S-S, Hatcher, H-A-T-C-H-E-R.
So we're breaking ground. We're tearing down the building. Tell us about what's going to be built here. Why this is going to be a big plus for our community.
Well, what's going to be here is our new River Edge corporate headquarters. On this site will consist of 3 buildings. One building will be our main headquarters building, a 2-story building with our admin and support services in that building, along with all our training, our human resources, and also a large public space will be in that 2-story building. A second building will consist of our outpatient behavioral health clinic, where we will be doing true outpatient services in terms of basically doing assessments, doing diagnostics, seeing a doctor, go to an exam room, receive medication. All those things that you and I would go to a doctor to see will be in the second building. And the third building will be basically our maintenance and procurement buildings. We provide all of our maintenance service, our transportation. We transport all of our clients to our services, so we will basically use that building for that purpose.
Just again, why is it important to have a place like this?
It's an important place like this because of accessibility. You know, there is a huge increase in mental health illnesses. And so River Edge provides that services, not only mental health, but substance abuse disorders, and also serves for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. This project here will provide access right off I-75 along the Riverside corridor, and also basically be a gateway to mental health services. We're excited about this location. We were located downtown in an old kind of old Zares building on Emory Highway. And so this location is going to be great. It's going to have all the elements for recovery, to include daylight, natural materials, colored palettes that will make recovery and receiving services very, very, very easy for clients who are seeking those services.
And how much money is it going to cost to get this going? Where's that money coming from?
Well, money's coming from 2 places. We have saved and raised a lot of money through our River Edge Foundation. And also, basically, the state has provided assistance as well. And so we'll continue to basically have what we call our Open Doors campaign. This is going to be the kickoff for that campaign. Our new director of development will basically be knocking on doors of foundations and asking for support to raise additional funding to do this project.
How much are you looking to raise?
Right now, the goal was to raise a little bit over $3.6 million on top of what we already have. But if we exceed that, that'll be great.
When do you think it'll be open?
So the timeline right now is demolition should be finished around June of this year. Construction will start fall of this year. We hope to have construction completed by December of 2025. Move in January, February 2026.
Why people are looking for the services that you provide more often now?
So what now, kid?
Why people are looking for the services that you provide more often?
Well, one thing we've noticed coming out of the pandemic, there are a lot of people who are basically from basically anxieties, just wanted to get out and basically been kind of secluded after the pandemic. Now they're seeking services. We're increasing the number of people who we're seeing. We're increasing the number of people we're seeing in the jail. So there's an increase of mental health services that is needed in Macon County. This new facility is going to provide that service that's needed.
That's good for me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, y'all have been everywhere. Y'all had the place down at the lake for a while.
No, well, that wasn't us.
That was
No.
That wasn't River Edge?
No, that wasn't us. That was Charter Lake. So that wasn't us. So this is going to be new. Then in the future, we got another project that's going to be happening down the street here. We're going to another project down the street. We're going to do a day program for adults with disabilities.
Well, we'll be there too, I guess.
So we got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Where's headquarters for River Edge?
Right now it's on Emory Highway. Right there next to the old health department.
I mean, no other cities where there's no other cities where River Edge is.
We provide only in the counties. And so we provide basically our core counties is here, Baldwin County, and also Jones County and Monroe.
Okay.
But anybody with services can come anywhere in the county for our services.
Okay. Yeah.
You have a place in Milledgeville, right?
We have a Milledgeville, yeah. We're in Milledgeville.
Well, hopefully I don't need you.
Okay.
Hopefully my brain or everything will stay pretty good.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Well, good. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you. Thank y'all for coming out.
You're welcome.
And remember to change that picture.
Okay.
I've gone by there just to visit and say hello. Not much. Always oh once you go there and you recognize all the residents, like just Jackie. I need to go see Miss Jackie. Yeah, just go far over and sit there. The lady's got to fall out. So I tried to ignore that part and just do what I like doing.